Have you ever noticed how some people claim garlic is a miracle superfood, while others insist it can cause all sorts of trouble if not used correctly? It's so easy to get lost in all the opinions about garlic, especially because it's a staple ingredient in so many cultures around the world. Friends, you've probably heard that garlic is great for your heart, your immune system, and even your taste buds. But then, every now and then, someone will say, wait, don't eat garlic like that, it's dangerous. Which opinion is right and which is just rumor? I absolutely love garlic in my food. I mean, who doesn't adore that warm, aromatic punch it gives everything? But we need to clear something up about how to use it properly. We'll tackle the myths and reveal a shocking but common mistake that could keep you from getting the full benefits of this amazing bowl. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to handle garlic to keep its flavor and powerful properties. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. By the way, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, definitely check it out and consider joining our friendly community. We have plenty of videos on food, health, and lifestyle, so make sure you turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Now, let's dive right in. First, let's explore why garlic is so cherished across different cuisines. I really like it when a recipe calls for just a few simple ingredients, and garlic manages to elevate the dish from ordinary to extraordinary. It's truly an essential part of many Asian, European, African, and American dishes. No matter where you're from, you've probably heard of a famous dish that uses at least a clove or two. In fact, when I was a kid, I often heard my grandmother praise garlic for keeping the family strong and healthy, which gave me this early impression that garlic was not just food, but almost like medicine. Interestingly, modern science has uncovered that garlic does indeed have some remarkable components. One of the main compounds is called allicin, and this is created when garlic cells are broken by chopping, crushing, or slicing. Allicin has been the subject of numerous scientific studies for its reported antioxidant and antimicrobial properties. Now, moving on to the myth that's been making the rounds about garlic being toxic or dangerous. Let's separate fact from fiction. Garlic in normal culinary amounts is very safe for most people. It's not poisonous, and most folks can safely consume it daily. However, the big mistake is not about it being lethal, but rather about how we prepare garlic in a way that destroys the very benefits we're trying to reap. Think about how often we tend to rush in the kitchen. Maybe we're throwing a quick stir-fry together or making a quick sauce. We chop or crush the garlic, toss it right into the hot oil or pan, and hope for the best. As delicious as that sizzling smell may be, we could be losing out on the real health power of garlic by cooking it immediately. That's because allicin, the beneficial compound I mentioned earlier, needs a little time to develop. If you crush or chop the garlic and then immediately expose it to high heat, you may never give allicin its chance to. Instead, you end up destroying many of those precious enzymes before they even do their work. The result? Lots of wonderful flavor, but fewer health perks. So let's consider the best way to handle garlic so that you can keep its health benefits intact. One of the biggest tips I've learned is that after you chop or crush the garlic, let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. This little pause allows the enzymes to convert various compounds within the garlic into allicin. It's similar to cutting an apple and seeing how it starts to oxidize. Obviously, garlic doesn't turn brown in the same dramatic way, but something important is happening beneath the surface. Once you let the garlic sit for a bit, you can add it to your dish. Ideally, right toward the end of the cooking process. Or at least don't subject it to extreme heat for too long. This doesn't mean it has to remain raw, but moderate cooking and correct timing can help preserve more allicin than if you throw it into scorching temperatures right off the bat. Next, let's move on to another popular question. To chop or to crush? Or how about slicing versus mincing? Personally, I absolutely love garlic in almost any form. But when it comes to maximizing that sharp, pungent flavor, along with the health benefits, chopping or crushing is usually better than just slicing. Crushing actually helps break open more of the cell walls, accelerating that enzyme reaction for allicin formation. If you've ever heard that strong sulfur smell right after pressing garlic, that's a sign you're releasing a lot of those compounds. By the way, if you really like a mild garlic flavor, Slicing might be good for taste, but you won't get as big a health boost. Still, any garlic is better than no garlic at all in my book. I know some people might be concerned about garlic breath or how pungent it can get, especially if you have to talk to colleagues afterward. Friends, I've been there. One time, I was so excited about a batch of garlic sauce I was making, I practically doubled the amount the recipe called for. Let's just say I had a very strong presence the next day. But if you're aiming to get the maximum health benefits, remember that raw or lightly cooked garlic can be more beneficial. If the taste is too strong, you can always pair it with other foods like yogurt, lemon juice, or honey. Some people even make a quick dressing with olive oil and lemon to drizzle over roasted veggies, ensuring that the garlic is added at the very end. That way, you still keep a fair amount of the goodness. Now, moving on to another topic, should you store garlic in the fridge or not? This might sound trivial, but it can drastically affect the garlic's flavor and texture. Garlic bulbs in general don't like moisture and cold temperatures in the refrigerator because it can cause them to sprout faster or become mushy. Ideally, store your garlic in a cool, dry, and dark place, like a pantry or a cupboard, away from direct sunlight. This helps maintain its freshness. Once you break the head of garlic and remove cloves, the clock starts ticking, and it may not last quite as long. Still, if you keep them in a breathable container, you should be good for a while. I really like it when a quick rummage through my pantry reveals a beautiful garlic bulb just waiting to be turned into something delicious. By the way, if this is the first time you're hearing about the benefits of letting garlic rest after chopping, go ahead and give it a try. Leave a comment below at some point and let me know how it works for you. Also, if you're enjoying this so far and find it helpful, feel free to give this video a like and share it with anyone who might benefit. It really helps support the channel and keeps us motivated to create more content like this. So let's consider some creative ways to include garlic in your daily life without overdoing it. One method I've grown to love is making garlic oil at home. It's pretty straightforward. Just warm some good quality olive oil on very low heat. Toss in a few cloves of crushed garlic and let the oil absorb the flavor. Remember to keep the temperature gentle so you don't destroy all the beneficial compounds, and also to avoid the risk of burning. Once it's done, you can drizzle the oil over salads, pasta, or even stir it into soups. Another trick is to roast garlic in the oven until it's soft, sweet, and caramelized. Now, roasting does reduce some of the punchy health benefits because of the prolonged heat, but it also makes the garlic extremely delicious and easier to eat in larger quantities. You can spread it on bread like butter. It's super tasty, and occasionally, I just can't resist that sweet, savory flavor. Moving on, many people ask if garlic supplements or powders are just as good as fresh garlic. This is a bit tricky. Some supplements might contain stabilized allicin or other compounds, and if they're reputable brands, they can be helpful. But often, fresh garlic is considered superior because it hasn't been overly processed or exposed to conditions that degrade its chemical makeup. If you're using garlic powder, make sure it's fresh and not stale because the flavor can decline quickly and you lose some of the essential oils. When I was a kid, I often heard my father say, "Fresh ingredients are always the best." So that motto has stuck with me. If you want the best of both worlds, taste and health benefits, fresh is usually the way to go. At the same time, supplements could be an option for people who can't tolerate raw garlic, or for those who want a specific dosage of certain compounds. Just do your research to confirm the brand's reliability. Now, friends, if you've been following along, you're probably wondering what the biggest mistake most people make is. I'll reiterate it clearly. The big no-no is chopping or crushing garlic and immediately throwing it into high heat, giving the allicin no chance to form. Another pitfall is overcooking it at extremely high temperatures for long periods, which again diminishes those special properties. But if you remember just one thing from this entire video, it's to give your garlic a little breather. Let it sit after you chop or crush it. Do that, and you're already miles ahead of those who are simply tossing the cloves in without a second thought. Another subtle mistake is storing garlic improperly or letting it go bad. Bad garlic won't just lose flavor, it might develop weird spots and an off taste. So be mindful of that too. Of course, garlic isn't some miracle cure-all. It works best when combined with a balanced diet and an overall healthy lifestyle. So, if you're looking to reap the cardiovascular perks or the immune-supporting benefits, also consider plenty of fresh produce, lean protein, regular exercise, and adequate sleep. When people ask me, can I just take a bunch of garlic pills and expect perfect health? I always say, garlic is a great ally, but it can't do all the work by itself. Think of it as a valued team player in your kitchen that adds flavor, nutrients, and a bit of medicinal flair, but it's not the entire show. By the way, if you enjoy content like this, remember to check out our other videos on health tips, cooking hacks, and the best ways to get the most out of your everyday ingredients. If you subscribe, you'll join a growing community of folks who love learning about how to make life healthier and tastier, one small step at a time. So, let's do a quick recap of everything we've discussed to tie it all together. Garlic is adored worldwide, and for good reason. It has a long history in both cuisine and folk medicine. Science backs up many of these traditions, indicating that compounds like allicin can offer health benefits. However, most people make the mistake of cooking garlic immediately after chopping it, not allowing those beneficial compounds to activate. Avoiding that error is as simple as letting the crushed or minced garlic rest for 10 to 15 minutes before you toss it into your dish. This little timing adjustment can make a big difference in how much of garlic's power you actually get. When you do cook it, try not to expose it to super high heat for too long. And if you want to keep it fresh for flavor and quality, store it in a cool, dry, dark place. Also, watch out for myths suggesting garlic is inherently dangerous. In regular culinary amounts, it's quite safe for most people, as long as you're not allergic or have certain medical conditions that require caution with potent herbs. Moderation is usually the key with any food. Combine garlic with a well-rounded diet, get enough exercise and rest, and you'll have a much better shot at enjoying those legendary benefits people keep raving about. The bottom line is that garlic can be a fantastic addition to your life if used correctly. Friends, I hope this discussion has been enlightening. When I first learned about letting garlic rest, it felt like a game changer in my own kitchen. I began to notice not just better flavor, but also that sense of reassurance that I was maximizing the health value hidden in each clove. So, if you've always tossed your freshly chopped garlic straight into a scorching hot pan, don't worry. It's never too late to start a new habit. Sometimes, the smallest tweaks can bring about the biggest changes. Now you have the knowledge to handle garlic like a pro, and I'm really excited to hear about your kitchen experiments. Before we go, I'd love to pose a question for all of you. What is your absolute favorite garlic-based dish? And have you tried letting the garlic rest to see if it changes the taste or the outcome? Feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm always on the lookout for new recipes or cooking methods. And of course, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to share it with friends or family members who might benefit from this tip. Remember, never eat garlic in a way that robs it of its powerful properties. Instead, give it that little pause it needs so you can enjoy the best of both flavor and nutrition. And thank you for watching all the way through, and I hope you feel more confident about using garlic in all sorts of tasty dishes. Keep experimenting in your kitchen, stay curious, and don't be afraid to question what you hear. After all, there's always a new tip or trick just waiting to be discovered. Take care, friends, and I